Good afternoon. It's 12:01 afternoon. Okay, so TradingView changed their font. That should be completely outlawed. This is ridiculous. Like the lodge a complaint. But anyway, let me talk you through what's happening today. We came up last time I left you as we needed to create a support out of this. I drew kind of a crappy range on Friday to kind of illustrate this fact that we're just in a big chop range. We can call this a false breakdown here because it took those lows after we reclaim here. Okay, so you can't call it a false breakdown until you reclaim the first support, but that's what it's looking like. So what you're going to do is you can be chopping it up in here. It's up to you, but don't assume the lows until we get up here. If we get above here, then take it right to the first target. Okay, so let me illustrate the flag structure we're in on a couple different time frames so you can kind of see that there's a method to this, even though it's kind of insane. So here we have our big cup and handle structure right here that we've been playing out of. This is the handle and a handle and a handle over here. I know that it doesn't really resemble a cup and handle anymore, but that's okay because it's the same thing. So this is our flag at the top of the cup and handle. As long as we hold our bull flag, which is this gap fill that we had for the higher low, then this is all bullish consolidation. Okay, then let's work a little bit further along. Here's our little speculative consolidation range right here. That I have running uphill, and even more so if you want to go into the weeds of it. Here is the micro bull flag at the top of the old range that we want to hold to produce a false breakdown. So I'm going to distill that all into one simple plan, but know that there's a bunch of structures working behind the scenes to get us to this conclusion, okay? So basically what happens is you want to play a false breakdown when you get over here, and you want to play it to right here. You want to go into runners to the target 2. Remember, I have 2 targets. The first one is here, the second one is here. Could it keep going? Absolutely, it could keep going. It's a trend, but you're just trying to capture one move at a time, okay? Don't get too excited until we get over this. Until we get over that, we can just fill out this bull flag more, guys. It's just boom, 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 boom. Means nothing. It means nothing to us. We just know what we need to see to get long again, okay? This morning looked like a little bit of a bull trap on the low time frame. I said that we could flush down to here. The bottom of the range. Now, I never predict the lows, so if you would have knife caught here, you would have lost money. That's the nature of the game. It could have bounced, could have not. But what I can tell you is once we find out what this false breakdown level is, you can take a long over this one, okay? So that's the difference. You don't need to break the low, but you can get triggered into being into a long. So I'm going to go right into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in drawdown. I re-added at 73. I have a buy right now sitting at 64.5. I expect the low to be 64.1. Yeah, I don't know. I was half and half, so I left you with. I stopped out originally at 73.3, if you recall. My initial ad was 64. I stopped out at half my position to lock down some of the profits from that 64 long. I did that because this was a possibility. Now I have 2 ways to get long on the other half of my position. I can long above 78 right here, or I can long a knife catch right here. Since we're heading down to the bottom one, I'm going to long a knife catch right there. Okay, so that's how I'm treating the crypto bag, long 64.5. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I was right in between. We are going to the bottom one. You can be optimistic about this and say, well, I get a better entry, or you can be pessimistic and say, I am max long with leverage and I don't feel good. It just depends on who you are and where you're sitting. I can tell you one thing, though. I am not bearish. I am looking at this as an opportunity to false break down these lows and get long again. It doesn't even cross my mind that we're setting a high for Bitcoin and we're going into a deep bear market. That's not part of my calculus right now. Okay, so I'm not too worried about that. Again, I would refer to the, let's turn everything off and look at the big high time frame candles. We are just simply testing our swing low over here. You can see this big swing low. We haven't produced a bounce out of this yet, but we will. And predicting that we're going to break that 49K level is not a particularly good bet, so I'm not going to make it. Okay. A big bonus into the don't give a shit about Bitcoin column is the fact that the miners don't seem to care, and we are going up with where we're hoping to. Now I'm long Riot and Mara. I am DCing out of Riot and Mara. I haven't taken another spot out of Riot yet. Just letting Riot run for a little while. I will announce on the channel when I'm DCing more out. But remember, I'm taking a little bit out of Riot's green candles. I'm adding them to Mara's red candles. That's all. Nothing tricky. I think Mara's the next catch-up trade, but they're both running together. Sooner or later, they're going to pull back together, and then Mara's going to be the bigger runner. I have the speculation right now that Mara is going to hit a big degenerate upside when Bitcoin hits its long. Okay, so I'm thinking that Riot and Mara are going to just kind of tread water and then go ham when Bitcoin hits at 64 long, which is what I'm speculating the low is. I'm still in AMD. I trimmed off AMD with the first riot. I'm not doing a great job of covering the channel, but I'm saying it in the video. What I'm doing, every time AMD, I trim riot, I'm trimming a little bit AMD. I anticipate AMD going up to about 800, 750, 800, but I'm trimming out of AMD on the way up to feed Mara, because I think the upside from 500 to 800 is less significant than the upside from like 15 to 80, right? So AMD is a good trade, but it's not the best trade. OXY is going up towards my entry. I'm going to short this thing at 62. You know this because I've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. The stop loss is going to be 65, actually 66. Sorry, 66. I just added the meta just now as I was talking to you. I'm hoping that this holds. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna bag hold this gap fill and then get out of my trade later. But I did just add the meta at 6:15, 6:15, 6:16, something like that. I'm targeting 800. I don't think the gap's gonna fail, but it might. It might. That's okay. I added with some of the profits I trimmed off right here, so that's what I do. Right? We run it into support. We trim some off. We add it back with the pullback. Run it into the next resistance round right here, add it back on the pullback, right? We're just trading in and out of the same trade because we don't have capital gains on this one. Coin looks like it's doing okay despite Bitcoin's capitulation. I have all the same upside for this. MVAX is just, I said this the other day, it's going to make it look like a head and shoulders right here, which is kind of like what it's doing. It's like do, and you think it's going to whip down a head and shoulders. It's actually just going to send it when the market catches it. So watch for that. I'm still long on that. New seems to be incapable of a pullback, which makes me happy. I didn't get in Palantir, which makes me sad. MSTR is going to trap Bitcoin. When 64 hits, this should go. Wolf is the weaker of all the miners, but I'm tracking it. NVIDIA is being absolutely degenerate, which I love. I'm thinking about hedging NVIDIA somewhere around 240. I'm going to see where the market is when it hits this, and because if the market's not ready to pull back, then I think that I could be wrong with this and it's just going to go like that. So I need to see where the market's at when it gets there. But again, I'm just holding NVIDIA. I'm not going to hedge this thing early. I've held it forever. That's one of my long-term things. So let's let this capitulate. If this capitulates, I'm going to snatch it up and I'm going to, I'm going to be just fine with that. I have a feeling that ES is just treading water until Bitcoin hits its drawdown target. So hopefully I've given you enough to think about right here. Don't get long until we get over here. If we get over 615, don't be afraid. That is a false breakdown setup. This is not a false breakdown. A false breakdown is not something that just sweeps the lows. It's also something that reclaims. So we have to reclaim first. If we are unable to reclaim or hit that false breakdown setup, we merely just turn into a very low confidence trade in here. We don't have a bearish setup until we lose this gap fill. So there's nothing here that's bearish. There's just red candles inside a big range, which is not inherently bearish. It's just chop. That's about it for today, guys. Take care.